YouTubers and people who fell asleep in front of the television watching old episodes of Top Gear. Today I'm going to have a quick look at some different methods for weathering. I've got Tamiya's Challenger 2 that I had in an earlier video. This is a sort of an early prototype version because I didn't want to build the desertized one, so I built a very early one, which is there. In another video I mentioned rubber band tracks, and for those of you that are wondering, this is what they sort of look like. This is literally a big rubber band. Put the two parts together and you can either melt the end of those with a hot screwdriver or super glue it. And then what they do is you stretch them a little bit to fit over the sides, and they're not bad. I prefer these to sticking individual track links together, but that's only because I can't be arsed for that kind of stuff these days. But anyway, that's what rubber band tracks were for anybody that was interested. Now, excuse me, when it comes to weathering model kits, people out there build kits like they've just rolled off the factory production line. I don't like doing that because tanks, they never look like that. Only for the first 30 seconds of their life. The rest of the time they end up looking like this, or this, or this. So, a couple of different methods that we can use when it comes to modelling. One of the most that I find satisfactory is the good old-fashioned airbrush. Not quite sure that's in there anyway, or all that, but anyway, I haven't moved house lately, so I've got crap all over the place. Now, you can pick up a half decent cheap airbrush for, I mean, I paid 30 quid for most of, I think 30 quid for this one, this one is in bits, but it's only because I'm in the process of cleaning it, because it got jammed. But yeah, you can have various different feeds when it comes to picking the paint up. These ones I'm not overly fond of because it's open. So that when I'm painting and you want to get in all the nooks and crannies, you can't, because the paint comes out the top. This sort is the sort I prefer, which has a lid on it, and it's a gravity feed, so that when I finally tighten it up, left to loosey, right to tighty, it looks something like that. And then when I'm painting, it doesn't matter how I'm holding it, I can get where I need to be. So instead of having to move the model around, I can simply put, excuse me, what I tend to do is put the model on top of the box so it's higher up, or a bit in, because there's plenty of those about, let's be honest. And then I can get in and around it as need be without having to move this, because there's nothing worse than moving this, end up with a big thumbprint on it. So that's one method of weathering. I'll just unscrew that so I can put it away. Whilst I unscrew that, what have we all been up to over the week, over the weekend? Have we been doing anything exciting, anything fun, anything new? I signed up to run a run. So I signed up to run a park run, because as you get older, you tend to get a little bit rounder. So I've signed up for a park run with the help and assistance from my partner. So yes, that's what I've done over the weekend. So when it comes to weathering, you've got the sort of airbrush variant, and then you've got lots of other weathering powders. I mean, these are both Tamiya Weathering Masters. I think there's A, B, C, D and F. These are both A's, so it's sand, light sand, mud, but there's all different variations. They tend to be of a, I don't really know how you describe it, but they're a semi sort of, it's not a dry pigment powder and it's not wet either, it's sort of in between. So you've got those which are not dry, not wet. And then the other end of the scale, we've got the much drier version. So you've got the Humbrol weathering powders. You can get the ones that are that sort of size, or you get these ones. And this one was £6.50 from local boys. This one was probably similar sort of price. Both got bonuses, both got downsides. And then you've got dry brushing. So dry brushing is something that, depending on what it is that you're building, what sort of era, what kind of thing you're doing is, you know, what works best for you. I tend to use, I don't think I've got the right brush out, it's still in the modelling box, but quite a broad, flat brush. And all you do is mix up the colour that you want, get it on your brush, and then like it says, dry brush. What you then do is get rag, tea towel, kitchen towel, that kind of thing, dry some of the paint off so that it's mostly dry, and then apply it where need be. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a quick go with the Weathering Master. I'll show you how easy it is. All you do, get one side of it, so you've got like a sort of makeup brush sort of one. I don't know what you'd call that, a normal brush. So I'm going to go for the sand one in the middle, apply it to your makeup brush. I don't know what you call it actually. But anyway, apply that, and it's literally just a case of finding the spot where you want it, fire away. I know there's probably people watching this going, no, that's not how you do it. It doesn't work like that. But I like it and it works. Then what I do is get the brush side, just brush off any excess so it doesn't look, you know, too stripy, too zebra-ish, and go from there. It just helps to just break up some of the lines. So that's Tamiya Weathering Master. With weathering pigments, what I tend to do, in fact, before I do that, is I'll just take the turret off because there is a weight inside here. Those that watch the video remember that when I tipped it upside down, the weight fell out because I'm an idiot. So I'll take the turret off. Inside there's a weight. So I'll show you sort of, I might show you on the underside of the tracks. So, partner's stolen makeup brush. Weathering powder, give it a dab. It would help if you could see. I haven't got my monitor today, so I can't really see if you can see this at home or not. Get a shake, so I just tap the end. Blow the excess off. Then what I do is, because I don't want too much on, is I just rub that in there like that a couple of times. Round and round we go. You can see how some of the excess has come off on there. Then all I do with the makeup brush is, it's a bit like dusting for fingerprints in a crime scene. All you do is just gently brush it across. And the same on that side. You can see how it just adheres in the right places where dust and Ming generally would. If I do it on the bottom there, look, you can see how it'll, where the little beads of pigment powder are, that's where you get these sort of stripes. So you have to do it sort of directionally, like that. And you end up with some nice weathering effects. The more you brush it backwards and forwards, the more gets applied, but the more of these stripes get rubbed away. And then if you've applied too much or not enough, using a dry brush, you can just sort of brush off any excess like so. Another thing that I like to do, and I'll put a photo up of it, is I like to apply vegetation that's got stuck in the tracks or stuff like that. So using Citadel miniatures, I can use, I think these are called Middenland tufts. You can pick them up from Boys, Games Workshop, stuff like that. What it is a sheet, and you've got these sections of grass. All I do is, they're self-adhesive, peel them off, and then I apply them to the underside, you know, in the tracks, the running gear, that kind of thing, until I've got a suitable appearance that I like. There's the flat brush that I was on about. So using the flat brush, you can just help blend some of that in. There's one of my dry brush sheets. So you can see I've been mixing various colours on. Put it on, dry brush it off, apply it to your model. I mean, I always tell people, do what you want to do. I've got some different colours of grass there, so you've got quite a sort of dry brown grass, and then a very vibrant, very vibrant green. These are Games Workshop ones as well, but they give you that nice sort of live camouflage effect. in the British Army these days, they don't like them doing the live camouflage because it damages the environment. I mean, who would have thought a tank trundling across a field would damage the environment? Yeah, they don't like you doing it. But I'll put some pictures up of what it looks like with dry sort of stuff on, dry camouflage. And that's that. So whilst I continue to weather my Challenger 2, my very, very early Challenger 2, I shall let you go back to enjoying your week, your weekend, whatever it is that you were doing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week. And like, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm not your dad.